Kevin O'Leary just annihilated Don Lemonhead during a live interview that was extremely humiliating for Don Lemonhead. So there's that. Drop down below in the comments what you think of Don Lemon. Some people are saying that he's completely falling off and deranged. He's an unhinged liberal. And I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about Don Lemon. Some people say that Don Lemon will just never get it and that he doesn't want to get it. And that's why he lost his show and is recording out of a bathroom. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about that, okay? And what are your thoughts on Kevin O'Leary? And that's that. So shout out to the King Squad. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and we're going to get right into this video, and let's go.
You have no problem with a president telling people it's time to buy? I mean, do you think that that is appropriate for a president to say?
What I heard was a president that was a cheerleader for America. That's what I heard. Now, look, I understand.
Well, hang on, Kevin. Hold on. Hang on, Kevin. Hold on. Just 1 second. I'm going to let you get it out. Can we just put the tweet back up of what Donald Trump, let's put it up, what he said. No, the one where he said it's a good time to buy. He put up a tweet that said, it is a good time to buy. It's not like a cheerleader. He's telling people to go buy, Kevin. Come on, man.
Yeah, he's telling people to go buy the American index. What the president's supposed to do that. He's supposed to be a cheerleader. He knows there's a lot of volatility. He's telling them, look, the market's corrected 20% and it's a good time to buy. You know, look, Don, the one thing I know is 50% of the population has Trump derangement syndrome, and that's not going to change. And every day they parse everything, and it's the same thing. Let's throw this guy back in jail.
That's the truth. Okay, I just want to interject right there and say that he's exactly right. You know, there are many people that have TDS and are, you know, diagnosed, but they may not realize it. And I definitely do believe Don Lemon is one of those individuals. Okay, drop down below your your thoughts. Do you think Don Lemon has Trump derangement syndrome? Let me know in the comments.
I get it, but we should be spending our time worried about the country, not about throwing Trump in jail all the time. They already tried that last year, or last 4 years. Didn't work. Yep. The guy's the president of the United States. Get over it. And then in 3.5 years, he won't be. But my goodness, what a waste of energy. I mean, that guy had.
I don't think anybody's saying throw him in jail, Kevin. I just think they're saying and maybe it could be the people around him. But
you're asking me what I think. I think it's just, you know, it's just total speculation. And there's so much noise out there. This is just more noise and kind of irrelevant as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You think it's irrelevant if the president if there was some manipulation of the stock market? It's not like we haven't seen that before. That
I don't think he's manipulating the stock market. I think he's driving policy, particularly on China, with extraordinary tariffs, and it's causing a lot of angst around the world, not just domestically. And he's saying to everybody, look, hang in there. I'm trying to get something done that no one's been able to do, and there's going to be volatility. And you should be optimistic on America. That's my read of it. And, you know, so no, I am not. I don't think that there's this speculation on insider trading has much traction to it. But I listen, insider trading is a federal offense. And if you do it, you suffer the consequences. But I don't see it here.
This is Trump in the Oval Office.
It's just crazy to me how all of a sudden these Democrats care about the stock market and care about the economy. Where was this energy during when Obama was president? Where was this energy with Sleepy Joe? Okay, Obama and Big Mike and Jurassic Joe. Where was this energy at with them? Okay, now you have an actual businessman, okay, who's now the president, running the country and making business moves, and now you have these non-business individuals, you know, people who are not exactly aware of, you know, business like that. I'm not saying you have to be like a super well-versed business person, but what I'm saying is, you know, when it comes to the Democrats, they're looking a lot of times they're looking for these handouts. That's what the vibe I get from them. Okay, for socialism and communism and all that kind of stuff, they're quick to give their rights away, give the rights of the American people away. And now that all of a sudden they're over here critiquing Donald Trump's business moves, and these are the same individuals who want the government to be they want the government to have the main control over businesses, okay, and individuals. All right, so I really, you know, please make it make sense.
Yesterday, even though you said it doesn't, you know, you don't have an issue with it, bragging about how rich he made his friends and the people on Wall Street. In the meantime, the people on Main Street are like, what the fuck, man? We've lost a ton of money and we are living paycheck to paycheck. Here it is in the Oval Office.
This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad, because he's in financials. I've always been following.
Not a bit cringe, considering a lot of folks are watching us. If you're in the chat and you're watching us, did you
Don,
make $900 million?
I'm helping you with your Trump derangement syndrome. Let me interpret.
I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. Trust me, I'm not. And again, listen, I'm not a Democrat, so don't even try it. I don't have Trump derangement, but I am a realist. I have eyes and ears.
He's celebrating entrepreneurship. These are individuals that obviously had positions in the indexes, in the markets, as I do. I've been watching my net worth vary by 20%, some days 5% in an hour, up and down. And I understand why that's happening. I've also learned in my life, you can't time the market. If you missed that upside yesterday, you basically left, 4.5% on the table. You're not going to get back maybe. So it's really a crazy time. And I agree with that. But trying to tie insider trading to market volatility, Don, I love you, honey, sweetie, poopsie, but it ain't gonna happen. None of this stuff has any teeth, any traction, and right. I don't even think it'll get investigated because it's so obvious what happens here.
Kevin, sweetie, dearie, I'm just asking the questions. I mean, look, when you get major news,
I'm answering you. No, it doesn't bother me, and I don't think there's anything important here. That's what I think.
All right, Pumpkin.
All right, there we have it. Okay, so I really am a firm believer that you really can't debate people with TDS. But then again, I've seen JD Vance annihilate so many CNN activists, and not just CNN activists, but liberal activists pretending to be news hosts and stuff, pretending to be journalists. So there's that. But still, it's not entirely a debate. It's more of like just an annihilation. Okay, so there's that. But I really think that Don Lemon is not relevant anymore, quite frankly. Now, so there of course there's going to be people out there that completely disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. But I just don't really see why he'd be somebody that I have to listen to Don Lemon. I just can't. I can't figure that out, especially with the TDS factor, okay? And then on top of that, they're trying to, for him to say, I'm not a Democrat, but you're, you're giving these, Democrat talking points. You're attacking Trump on Trump's policies and what Trump is doing as if you actually care about the economy and everything like that, yet you did Biden. Very, very, hypocritical in my personal opinion. And this is why I call the Democrats, the Demonocrats, the hypocrites. All right. Don Lemon, I just don't really see why he would be the go-to person as far as, economics and finances and, trying to better understand the economy and understand what Trump is doing. I just don't see it. But overall, they're attacking Trump on the stock market, on the tariffs and everything like that, but they really don't want to see the bigger picture, nor do I really believe they can see the bigger picture, okay? The Democrats really just want to nitpick and attack Trump every which way because, well, it's Trump. If Trump came out with a cure for cancer, they'd say, oh, no, he's trying to poison everybody. It's COVID in a bottle. Okay, he's trying to ruin the country. He's trying to sink the ship and create the Titanic sequel with the country. Okay, that's that. I really, they don't want to see it. They don't want to, work together. They don't want to, put our differences aside and come together so that we can make America actually be great again. They're not looking to do that. They're looking to debate, nitpick, argue, fuss, and fight like some self-centered, whiny little children. And that's kind of how it strikes me, all right? And this is the same energy I see from Sunny Hostin, a.k.a. Cloudy Hostin. This is the same energy I see from Poopy Goldberg, Messica Tarlov, a.k.a. Jessica Tarlov, a.k.a. Whoopi Goldberg, I call her Poopy Goldberg. And yeah, you see this consistent pattern of people who just don't want to get it. So that's my own personal thoughts on it, you guys. Drop down below in the comments what you think. And how do you feel about this? How do you feel about everything, going on with these tariffs and the stock market? I look forward to seeing what you have to say. Shout out to the King Squad. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Let's go. Peace.